This conference will now be recorded.
So, in today's session, we are going to discuss about Visualforce programming, and we have to understand what exactly a Visualforce page, how can we design a Visualforce page, and what are the various ways that we have in Salesforce to design a Visualforce page, and what are the various built-in tags that Salesforce provides to design the Visualforce pages. What properties that we have for each and every tag we'll see practically. Basically, Visual Force is not comes under Lightning. Visual Force is purely comes under Classic part. It's Classic, not Lightning. So, whenever you are working on Classic part or the Classic projects, then it will help you. That's what here we are not spending much time. So today we'll be having two sessions, 7 now and then at 11 o'clock also both. For both the people, 7 o'clock people, 11 o'clock people, for both the people, we have two sessions today here now and then at 11 o'clock, so we can finish it off because nobody is using Visual Force nowadays here. Maybe if there is any possibility that whatever the projects you have been allocated, if the project is a very old project which has been built on Visual Force, then if you want to work on that project also, this might help you. That's what I'm giving these sessions. Or else everybody has migrated to Lightning. Everybody has migrated to Lightning projects. Most of the projects has been migrated to Lightning. But if there is any chances, there are few clients are available who are still continuing with the classic project, then it might help you. That's what I'm giving this two sessions. That's what we are not spending much time. It's purely classic part. Now, let's see. Now, let's see. So, what exactly the Visual Force programming? Basically, Visual Force programming is a web development framework which is used to design our own customized user interfaces. So, as of now, by using Apex programming, we have purely concentrated on business logic part, how to perform the operations, how to query the data, how to insert the records, how to delete the records, how to process some bulk records. All these things we have discussed. Now, in this case here now, today we are going to be concentrating on front end part. Through Apex, we have implemented backend. Now we are concentrating on front end part. So that is okay, Visualforce. As part of Classic, we have Visualforce programming. As part of Lightning, we have Lightning framework. That is ARA framework and then LWC framework. That means this Visualforce has been replaced with ARA or LWC. Apex is same. Here also Apex. Here also in Lightning framework also Apex we have. Apex is common. Now, one more point let me tell you. In future, this Apex is also going to be replacing the Salesforce by JavaScript. JavaScript. That means in future, as part of Salesforce, you will be having JavaScript, admin, and then LWC. Little bit Apex, not much. Because in Apex programming, we are having so many functionalities like SQL queries, DML statements, all these things. But in JavaScript also we have SQL queries. That means without writing SQL queries in Apex, through JavaScript itself we can query the data. Through JavaScript itself we can able to perform DML operations, insert operation, update operation, delete operation we can do through JavaScript. As part of Lightning, we have discussed all these things. Through JavaScript, we are using the help of APIs. By using that APIs, we are performing insert, update, delete operations, everything. Okay. Now, so that here, ARA framework or LWC framework is a must and should. No visual force nowadays. That's what in every requirement, which you are receiving from any company, they're mainly expecting, configuration, admin part is common, Apex and LWC. These three are the major requirements here. 99% of the requirements are purely, admin part, Apex programming, and then Lightning framework. No visual force. Okay, so that here Lightning framework is very important. That's what I told you from the beginning. During the demo session also I told you Lightning is must and should. If anybody wants to join this Lightning framework, I'm going to start a new batch from Monday. It's a classroom, first time I'm starting classroom session, that to regular. It's not weekends, only regular. Within 1 month to 40 days we're completing everything, ARA and LWC both, including JavaScript and CSS also. Everything I am covering as part of these sessions. From Monday, we are starting that new batch evening at 7 p.m. Now, so now in this case, let's see how the Visualforce programming look like. Now, so basically, Visualforce programming is a web development framework. It's a web development framework which is used to design our own customized user interfaces. So in order to design our own customized user interfaces with the required visual appearance, controls, we are using the help of Visualforce programming. Now, by using this Visualforce, we can make our user interface look like attractive. We can apply our own background colors. We can apply our own text, font, style, size, color, everything we can able to decide. Depends upon your application requirement. So, Visualforce is purely a web development framework which is used to design attractive and dynamic user interfaces. Now, as part of this Visualforce programming, it's purely a tag-based programming. It's purely a tag-based programming, like as HTML. It's purely a tag based programming. Because Apex programming is completely different, Visual Force is completely different. In Visual Force, we are having everything is in the form of tags. Now, so in this case, let's see. As part of this Visual Force, it's purely like as a tag-based programming, like as HTML. Like generally, when you go to the HTML, we are having so many tags are available, like HTML tag, and then we have bold tag, we have italic tag, we have underline tag, we have body tag, we have title tag, we have division tag, we have font tag. Like that, we are having so many tags are available in HTML. Like the similar passion in Visual Force also, we are having so many tags are available, which has been given by Salesforce. Salesforce provides a collection of built-in tags as part of Visual Force programming, which we can use to design our own user interface. So in order to design your own user interface, we are using this built-in tags. That means ready-made tags given by Salesforce. So Salesforce provides a collection of built-in tags which can be used to design our own customized user interfaces. Now, in this case, you can raise a question. Sir, whenever we are going to be designing these Visualforce pages, do we need to follow any case sensitivity over here upon using these tags? No, Visualforce is not case sensitive. Upon using this tag names, you can use uppercase letters also, lowercase letters also, combination of those characters also, no problem, but there is no case sensitivity. There is no case sensitivity. Now, so in this case, as part of this Visualforce programming, Visualforce is not a case sensitive programming. We can able to write the code by using any character case. Now, next one. So when coming to the Visualforce programming, Visualforce programming provides so many ready-made tags where each tag will have the corresponding ending tag. Every starting tag should have the corresponding ending tag. Like for example, we are having HTML tag. It will be having by HTML. That means this is the starting tag, this is the ending tag. In between that, we can able to write the code. Like generally, if we are writing some conditions or classes, we are writing open braces, close braces, right? This is the block. In between that, we are writing some code. Like the similar fashion, we are having starting tag, ending tag. Like as a starting braces, ending braces. Like the similar way, we are forming the block. In this block, we are writing some piece of code. Now, as part of this Visual Force programming purely supports real-time development style. What do you mean by real-time development style? Generally, when you go to the Apex programming, what we are doing, we are going to the developer console or execute anonymous window. In execute anonymous window, we are writing the piece of code. Then, once you click on execute button, code will be executed. Then what we are doing, we are going back to developer console. We'll open the debug log file. We can see the result. Suppose if we want to make any more changes, then we can go back to execute anonymous window, make the changes over there, and then click on execute button again, come back to debug log file again and see the result. That means keep on, we are switching from one editor to another editor. Like as execute anonymous window to developer console to execute anonymous window, keep on we are switching. But here Visual Force supports real-time development style. That means we no need to switch from multiple windows. Just we can sit in front of a single window. By sitting in front of a single window, we can write the code, we can compile the code, we can save the code, we can execute the code. we can view the result, everything within a single window itself. We no need to switch from one editor to another editor. Just by sitting in front of a single window itself, we can do all the operations. That facility is available now. So in that case, when coming to the Visual Force programming provides real-time development style. Now, so in this case here also, as part of Visual Force programming, upon executing that Visual Force programming code, upon executing Visual Force programming code, here also the similar kind of architecture is available. Like whatever the way we have discussed Apex programming execution lifecycle, here also we have the similar kind of architecture. Each Visualforce page code will get compiled by using the page compiler, and this is the compiler component here. In order to compile the Visualforce page code, that means whatever the tags that you have written, whatever the properties that you have used, whatever the syntaxes that you have followed, okay, whether all are correct or not. To check it out here, we are using page compiler. So in this case, So in this case, each Visualforce page code should be get compiled by using this page compiler, and which will be compiling each and every syntax, each and every tag. It will check it out. Now, so now in this case, each and every Visualforce page code should be compiled by using page compiler. And once a page code has been compiled, then it will execute the code by using page renderer. Page renderer. Page renderer is a component. It's a component which will be executing your Visualforce page code. Like as in Apex programming, we have discussed. Apex programming code should be compiled by using page Apex compiler, executed by using Apex runtime engine. Like the similar way here also, each Visualforce page code should be get compiled by using page compiler. It should be executed with the help of page renderer component. So these are the two components will get involved upon compilation, upon execution that page code. Once a Visualforce page code has been compiled successfully, the compiled code will get resides inside metadata repository. It's common. Now, in this case here, whatever the Visualforce page code that we have prepared, each Visualforce page code will get stored inside the file with the extension .vfp. VFP is the extension for each and every Visualforce page. VFP means Visualforce page. Each Visualforce page code will get stored inside a file with the extension .vfp. Now, all the Visualforce pages code will store inside a object called as Apex page object. All the Apex classes code will store in which object here? Apex class object. Now, whatever the Visualforce pages code that we have prepared, all the Visualforce pages code will be getting resides inside the Apex page object. Apex page is a standard object in Salesforce which contains all the Visualforce pages information. All the Visualforce pages information will get resides inside the Apex page object. It's a standard object in Salesforce. Now, let's see in this case here. Let me give the load points. Visualforce is a web development framework which is used to design attractive and dynamic user interfaces. Now, by using Visualforce Pages, we can design our own customized user interfaces based on the client requirement. Visualforce Pages are comes under classic development. Now, it is a tag-based programming like as HTML, which provides a collection of built-in tags, which provide a collection of built-in tags which can be used to design our own customized user interfaces. Now, Visualforce is not a case-sensitive programming. Now, we can write the code in any character case. We can write the code in any character case. Now, each Visualforce page code should get compiled by using page compiler and will get executed by using page renderer. Now, each Visualforce page code should get resides inside the file with the extension .vfp, and all the Visualforce pages code will get stored inside the Apex page object. If you want to query all the Visualforce pages information, then you can use the select statement. Select ID of the Visualforce page, name of the Visualforce page, markup, that means actual page code from Apex page. Just you can execute this query, you will get all the Visualforce pages which are prepared in the past. So whatever the Visualforce pages you have prepared in the past, we can query all the Visualforce pages through Apex by using SOQL query also. Now, Visualforce provides real-time development style. That is, we can write, compile, save, execute, and view the results in a single window. In a single window. Okay. Now, these are the basic functionalities of Visualforce programming. Next. Now let's see Visualforce page components. What are the various components are available in each and every Visualforce page? Now let's see. Basically, each Visualforce page contains two components. Each Visualforce page contains two components. First one, Visualforce markup. Second one, Visualforce controller. Each Visualforce page contains two components. That means two parts will be available. First one, Visualforce markup. Second one, Visualforce controller. These are the two parts will be available here. As part of each and every Visualforce page, these are the two parts are available. Now, now here you have to understand what is Visualforce markup, what it contains. What is this Visualforce controller, what it contains. Now let's see. Let's come to a small scenario. For example, I'm having a login screen. This is a login screen. In this login screen, what it contains? It contains two text boxes, two buttons. Now, we have two text boxes over here. One is to enter the username. Second one is to enter password. This is a username. There is a password. Here we will be having two buttons will be available. There is a login button. There is a cancel button. Now two buttons are available. Now tell me we have to design this, right? Yes, first of all we have to design. So we have to take a small screen. In that screen, okay, we have to place two text boxes here by giving some label, username, password. Now we have to place two text boxes over here. And then we have to place two button controls, login button, cancel button. In this case here, we have to design this user interface first. Now to design this user interfaces, we are using some ready-made tags. Now this designing part will be comes under Visualforce markup. This designing part will be comes under Visualforce markup. Then what do you mean by Visualforce markup? Visualforce markup component or Visualforce markup part contains the designing of that Visualforce page. Designing of the Visualforce page. So, in order to design the Visualforce page, whatever the tags that we are using, whatever the whatever the functionalities we are using, that is comes under Visualforce markup. Then how can we design this user interface here? Now, this can be done with the help of tags. To place a text box, we need a tag. To place a button control, we need a tag. Like that here, it's purely a tag based part. So to design that Visualforce page, to place the required visual appearance controls, it may be text boxes, it may be button controls, it may be checkboxes, or radio buttons, or pick list controls, or checkbox controls, or anything whatever you want. So now to design this user interface, whatever the tags are required, those tags will come under Visualforce markup. So Visualforce markup is purely concentrating on designing part of the page. So which is purely a tag based programming, which requires some ready-made tags given by Visual Salesforce as part of Visualforce programming. By using these ready-made tags, we can design our own customized user interface. Now, okay, fine. So now in this case here, let's see. Now let's see. So whatever the code that we have designed, whatever the tags that we have used, these tags code will be storing inside a file, right, with the extension .vfp. That means each and every Visualforce markup code will store inside a file with the extension .vfp because it's a designing part, right? Designing part means tags. So now in this case, okay, all the Visualforce tags which you have used and the designing part code will store inside a file with the extension .vfp. Now, next one. Let's see, for example, assume that once this user interface has been designed, here I have placed some content. I have entered username, I have entered password. When I click on login button, what needs to be done? It has to validate my credentials. Whatever the username and the password that you have entered, it has to validate the credentials, right? It has to check whether this username and the password is correct or not. It has to verify. Then how it will verify? For that one, it requires some business logic, right? Yes. Upon click on the button control, okay, button control doesn't have any intelligence. It doesn't have any intelligence to connect to the database. So behind that button control, we need some logic. We need some functionality. We need some business logic through which we can perform the required operations. So in that case, as part of this user interface, upon click on this login button, okay, upon click on this login button, it has to connect to the respective database object. It has to validate whether this username and the password is correct or not. If the username and the password is correct, it will allow the user to enter into the application, or else it will be representing the message invalid username or password. For that one, to validate these credentials, we need some business logic part. We need some business logic part. We need some business logic. This business logic will be implemented in the form of what? Class. Now, so as soon as once you click on this login button, we have to go to the corresponding class. We have to invoke that business logic method. We have to prepare a method. To this method, we need to pass, okay, this username and the password. Then that business logic class will verify whether username and password is correct or not. So that here we need to write some business logic through Apex programming. So we have to use Apex programming. Through Apex programming, we have to write the business logic part over here. Now tell me, each Apex class code will store inside the file with the extension what? Dot Apex. Sorry, APXC. Okay, APXC, Apex class. Now, that means upon click on this login button or any button control on the screen, whatever the user interface we are designing by using Visualforce, user interface is only for front end part. It doesn't perform any operations by its own, only for designing purpose. It's a dummy user interface. Upon click on that button control, whatever the action you want to do, those action related code we have to implement through Apex programming. Now, this Apex piece of code will be called as, okay, Visualforce controller. So that each user interface contains these two parts. Not only in Salesforce, you can go to any programming language also. It may be Java also, .NET also, Python also, SAP also, Oracle also. Wherever you go, designing part will be separate, business logic part will be separate. Two programming languages must and should. Mandatory. One is for designing, second one is for business logic. So here also in Salesforce, we have these two programming languages. Apex is for business logic, Visualforce is for user interface. Now, each Visualforce page contains two parts. First one, Visualforce markup, second one, Visualforce controller. Visualforce markup is going to be purely concentrating on designing part of the code, so that here each Visualforce page code will be purely designed with the help of some ready-made tags where where we are going to be using these built-in tags. With the help of these built-in tags, we can able to design that page. Now, second one, Once the designing part has been done, then whatever the page code that we have designed, that means user interface code that we have designed, that code will be storing inside the file with the extension .vfp. Now, second one, once a user interface has been designed, so in order to perform the actions, whatever the logic is required, that logic we're implementing through Apex programming, that can be done with the help of classes and methods. Upon click on the button control, we can call a method. That method will take care of this validating the credentials. Once the credentials are valid, it will allow the user to enter into the application, or else it will show the corresponding error message. Now, so that here, in order to implement this kind of business logic, we are using the help of Apex programming, that each Apex code will store inside the file with the extension .apxc. So that here, each Visualforce page contains two parts: markup part, controller part. That means a designing part, business logic part. Two parts will be available. Any Visualforce page, it may be any programming language, Java also, .NET also. Wherever you go, these two fix will be fixed, common. Okay. Now, let's see. Each Visualforce page contains the below two parts. First one, Visualforce markup. Now, it will purely concentrate on designing part of the Visualforce page. Designing part of the Visualforce page. We can design the page with the required visual appearance controls. With the required visual appearance controls. By using the built-in tags. Built-in tags. That is, it is purely a tag-based programming like as HTML. Now, whenever we are designing these Visualforce pages, so now each tag, we are having so many tags are available over here. We have so many tags are available. Generally, when you go to the HTML programming, the tags will look like this. Direct here, HTML by HTML. It will be having bold tag by bold tag. It will be having italic tag by italic tag. That means here's the starting and the ending. We have font tag by font tag. Like that. When you go to Java programming, they're using JSP. Each tag name will be prefixing with JSP. JSP colon tag name. And by JSP colon tag name. It will be having that. When you go to the ASP.NET in Microsoft, it will be having ASPX. That means ASP.NET extension. X means extension. It will be having tag name by ASPX tag name. Now, in Apex programming, as part of Visualforce, each Visualforce page code, that means each Visualforce tag name should be prefixed with the word Apex. Apex tag name, like as page, by Apex page. So each Visualforce tag name should be prefixed with the word Apex. Here also, Apex farm tag. Here by Apex farm tag. When you go to the Lightning framework here, if it is a ARA component, it will be having ARA application. By Ara application. Now, next one. If it is a lightning web component, it will be having that lightning button by lightning button. And then we are having this lightning button group. It will be having lightning button group like that. These are the notations. Just by looking into the tag notations itself, we can understand okay which programming they have used to design this user interface. If it is a HTML, this will be look like this. If it is a JSP from Java server pages, then the notation will look like this. If it is a .NET here, okay, this will be look like this. For Visualforce, this is a notation. For RAC framework, this is a notation. For Lightning Web Component, this is the notation here. So each and every framework will be having their own notations are available. Okay, now. So in this case here, when you observe this Visualforce, when come to our Visualforce part over here, each Visualforce page code, each Visualforce okay tag should be getting prefixed with the word, okay, it will be prefixed with the word Apex. Each Visualforce tag should be prefixed with the word Apex. Now, this is a fundamental principle here. Okay, now note each Visualforce page, each Visualforce tag name should be prefixed with the word Apex. For example, Apex page. Here we can write that code by Apex. Apex farm by Apex farm. Apex page block by Apex page block. Like that, here we are having so many tags are available as part of Visualforce page. This is purely the designing part over here. Now, Visualforce markup code will get stored inside the file with the extension .vfp. With the extension .vfp. Okay, Visualforce markup code will get stored inside the file with the extension .vfp. Okay, now second one, Visualforce controller. Then what exactly the Visualforce controller and what is the use? Okay, now let's see. Now, let's see in this case here. Visualforce controller means what? This is used to perform the operation. In order to perform that operation over here, once you click on the button control on the page, what actions you would like to perform. It may be login button also, cancel button also, or it may be like as your search button also. Anything upon click on the button control, whatever the actions you are going to perform, that action related code we need to write. Now that action related code we need to write with the help of Apex programming. So that here we are using Visualforce controller, which will be having the backend part, business logic part. Now, in this case, as part of this Visualforce controller, okay, we are having three types of controllers are available. In Salesforce, Visualforce providing three types of controllers. First one, standard controller. Second one, custom controller. Third one, extension controller. Three types of controllers are available. Standard controller, custom controller, extension controller. Three types of controllers are available over here as part of your Visualforce programming. Now, let's see. Let me give the note point. This part purely concentrates on the business logic part. Business logic to be get referenced inside the Visualforce page to be used to perform the required actions. So, if you want to perform any actions on your input values, then whatever the business logic is required, that business logic we can able to implement through Visualforce controller. Now, in this case, this can be implemented with the help of Apex programming. This can be implemented with the help of Apex programming. Now, Visualforce provides three types of controllers. First one, standard controller. Second one, custom controller. Third one, extension controller. These are the three types are available here. Now, note point. Each Visualforce controller code will get stored inside the file with the extension .apxc. .apxc. Each Visualforce controller code will get stored inside the file with the extension .apxc. Now, this is a functionality over here. Now, these are the two parts are available. Each Visualforce page contains two parts: Visualforce markup, Visualforce controller. This can be done with the help of Apex. Similar passion when you go to Lightning framework. Now this Visualforce markup is nothing but Lightning framework. That means Lightning component, like as ARA or LWC, and then this controller will be you will be having two controllers. Okay, like as client side controller through JavaScript, server side controller through Apex. Two controllers will be available over there. That's it. The difference. A little bit changes. That's it. Now, next one. Visualforce tag hierarchy. Visualforce tag hierarchy. So what are the various tags are available as part of Visualforce? Now let me explain. What is the hierarchy of those tags also? Now let me explain over here.
Excuse me, Feroz. Can you
Just
show
a
me the first page? 1 second, just 1 second. First page. Little bit upper. Little scroll down. Just 1 minute. I will take a screenshot.
sure.
Thank you so much.
Now, now let's see. As part of this visual force, so how a tag has been, that means how the page has been designed. Now let me go to my Salesforce arc. I'm going to my Salesforce arc. I'm going to the classic part, Salesforce classic. Now let's take any of the object here. Let's take any of the object. For example, position object. Click on new button. This is the page. It's a Visualforce page. Okay, it's a Visualforce page designed by Salesforce. That means all the page layouts, whatever we have, those are purely built upon Visualforce programming. And that too, Visualforce has been introduced by Salesforce in the year 2007. Visualforce programming has introduced by Salesforce in the year 2007. Before 2007, okay, they have used yes controls. Yes controls. Because Salesforce introduced that Salesforce CRM in the year 2000, 2002, 2007, it's purely yes controls concept. From 2007 onwards, they have introduced Visualforce programming. Now, in this case here, so this is a page. How this a page has been designed. So what are the various tags has been used by Salesforce upon designing this page? Okay, now let's see what kind of tags. Now let's see. So now in order to design this entire page, okay, up to the last, including copyrights information also. To design this entire page, they are using a tag called as page tag. Okay, page tag. They are using a tag called as page tag to design this one. Because if you want to design something, if you want to represent something, we need a white paper, right? Yes, we need a white paper or a whiteboard or a white chart on which we can design something, on which we can represent something. So here also, they design this entire page, they're reserving the complete browser space. To reserve this complete browser space, they have used a tag called as page tag. The tag name is Apex page. This is a page tag. So to reserve this complete browser space, they have used this page tag. Next, in this page tag, up to this part, up to the tabs, this part is called as header part. This is called as header part. If you want to show the header or not, that's your choice. Depends upon your requirement. We can able to show the header or not. It's your choice. These properties, how to remove this header, how to place this header, everything I will show you in today 11 o'clock session here. So now with properties. Now we are listing out the tags. Then at afternoon at 11 o'clock, we are going to be discussing about the tag properties concept. There I will show you each and every property with the practical. Now, so now this is the header part over here. Next, this part, this part. See, so many parts are available. So many parts are available. Guys, just give me a minute. I will be back. I'm getting a call.
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
So now let's see. So now as part of this page, we are having this tag. Now, so here we are having this part. So now this part is the stop part is called as a header part. This is a header part here up to the tabs. This is called as header part. Now, the second part, this is called as section header. This is called as section header part. So what is this section header part? Basically, section header part is used to specify the title and the subtitle. It is used to specify the title and the subtitle. This is called as title part. Position edit. This is called as title. New position. This is called as subtitle part over here. Now, so now here in this case, as part of this page tag, we have section header tag, which is used to specify the title and the subtitle for your Visualforce page. Now, under this page tag, we are having section header tag. This is section header. Section header tag. Next, from here, the remaining part, this entire part here, up to the last, including copyrights information up to the last, this is called as farm tag. Farm. What do you mean by this farm tag? Farm tag is used to place all the input controls and the output controls. So, in order to place all the input controls and the output controls, we are using the help of a tag called as farm tag. So, whatever the visual appearance controls you would like to design, all those controls we have to place inside the farm tag. Now, so now this is the section header part. Along with the section header, you will be having farm tag also here. Farm tag. Apex farm. Next. Under this farm tag, this part, only this highlighted part here. Only this highlighted part. This part is called as page block. This part is called as page block. That means what? Suppose, for example, I have a page, white paper. Okay, I have a white paper. In that white paper, I want to draw two diagrams. Generally, what we will do, whatever the white paper that we have, we are dividing this white paper into two halves. That means we can divide the white paper into two halves. On the first half, we can design one page. So that means one diagram. In the second half, we are designing one more diagram here. Now, so like the similar way here also, whatever the Visualforce page that we have, if we want to divide this Visualforce page to multiple parts, then we can go with the help of page block. So page block is nothing but it's a part of a page. Okay, it's a part of a page in which we can able to place some visual appearance controls. So that here a Visualforce page can have one or more number of page blocks. Not only one page block, multiple page blocks also we can able to place within a single Visualforce page. That facility will be available here. Within a single Visualforce page, we can have multiple page blocks also. Now, let's see. So now, under this form tag, you will be having page block. This can be denoted apex page block. Next. Now, in this page block here, this part, this part, this part is called as page block buttons. Then what is this page block buttons part basically? Basically, page block buttons is a part of the page which is used to accommodate all the button controls at one place. Generally, once you have placed the text boxes and then the pick list controls and everything, after entering the data, we have to perform some actions, right? Yes. For that one, we are placing some button controls. So in that case, instead of placing the button controls in different places, we can accommodate all the button controls at one place by using a part called as page block buttons part. Page block buttons is a part of page block. Within the page block, we have a small part that is page block buttons, which is used to accommodate all the button controls at one place. Now, so in this case here, as part of this page block, we are having page block buttons. Page block button stack. This can be page block buttons. Page block buttons. Now, under this page block buttons, we are having so many button controls are available, like a save button, save and new, cancel. We have buttons. This each button control is called as command button. Save is one command button, save and new is another command button, cancel is another command button. So these are called as command buttons. Where we are placing these command buttons inside page block buttons section. Within the page block buttons section, we are placing command buttons here. Observe the hierarchy over here. That is most important. Observing the hierarchy is most important here. Inside the page block buttons, we are placing command buttons. Command button tag. Apex command button. Okay, apex command button. And along with these command buttons, we can place command links also. Command links means what? These are also the command buttons only, but the look and feel will be different, like as hyperlink. It will look like as hyperlink over here, like as command link. But only difference is button will be showing like as rectangular format over here. Command link will be looking like as hyperlink. That's it, the difference. Only look and feel is different. Functionality will be everything will be same. Apex command link. Okay, so we have form tag. Under the form tag, we have page block. Under the page block, we have page block buttons part. In that page block buttons, we are placing command buttons and the command links. Next. Next one, this part. Up to this part. This part is called as what? Section. This is one section, information section, milestone details section, compensation details section, additional information section like that. So this page block has been divided into multiple sections. Observe the functionality. Page has been divided to page blocks. Page block has been divided to page block sections. This is one section. This is second section, third section, like that n number of sections you can place inside that. So now in this case, page block will be divided into page block sections over here. This is one section. Now, so that here inside the page block, along with the page block buttons section, we are having this page block sections also. We have page block section. This can be denoted to page block section. Page block section tag. Next. Inside this page block section, we have so many rows. This is one row. This is the second row. This is the third row. So whatever the rows that we have in the section, each row is called as section item. Page block section item. Page block. Under the page block, we have page block section. Each and every row inside the page block section is called as page block section item. Now, let's see. Inside the page block section, we are having page block section item. This can be denoted page block section item tag. Now, under this page block section item, here we are placing this. Under this page block section item, we are placing input controls like as text boxes, pick list controls, or output controls also we are placing like as okay, label controls like that. So we are placing that controls. Now, so we can place input controls. Input controls like apex, input field, apex, input text, like that we can able to place. And here we can able to place output controls also. Apex, output label, apex, output text, like that we can able to place those controls. So inside the page block section, we are having section item. Inside the page block section item, we are having that input controls and output controls also. Now, in this case, instead of having the page block section item directly inside the page block section, also we can place input controls and output controls also. These controls directly we can place inside the page block section also. Here we can have page block section. Inside the page block section also, we can place this input controls and output controls also directly. That facility also available to you. Now, so now inside the page block section, we can have your own section item. Inside the section item also, we can able to place this input and output controls, or else directly we can place this input and output controls inside page block section also. That facility is available here. This is the hierarchy. These are the various tags. Suppose if anybody asks you in the interview point of view, could you please explain some few Visualforce tags which you have used in your current project? Then you can explain. We have used this okay page tag. We have used section header tag, form tag, page block tag, page block buttons tag, command button tag, command link tag, and then page block section item tag, page block section tag, page block section item tag, input field, input text, output label, output text. Like that, you can explain few tag names. Okay, this is one of the common question in most of the interviews if they need Visualforce okay technical skills. So now, then how to use these tags I will show you in today's 11 o'clock session. All the people, please join all the people here. 7 o'clock people and then 11 o'clock people, both people has to join at 11 o'clock today. Only for today. So now in this case, today at 11 o'clock, we are going to discuss about each tag, their properties, how to use them. I will show you with a practical concept here. Okay, I will show you with practical use cases. Okay, now, thank you. Thanks for your time. Please be available at 11 o'clock. Use this same meeting link. Use this same meeting link to join at 11 o'clock also. Okay.